So hand weights, I'm going to put those under the chair because we'll use them when we get ready to squat. And if you want to use them for the stomps, you could use them then also. It's like adding some extra force into the hips when we use the hand weight. So, get them out of the way. Well, let's do I'm going to put on some slower music, and we'll start with some stretching before we go to impacts to make sure we're ready. So one thing I did just this morning, I posted on the YouTube website just a stomping and impact segment. So to keep that in mind, it's 2.5 minutes long. So as a help to do impacts on the days that we don't exercise. Because some of you that have more of a bone density concern should be doing the impacts 5 days a week. So that's to help with that. But here we go. We're gonna let's go ahead and start with some stretching. Start with your feet hip width apart. And then let's circle the shoulders back. And let the shoulders settle. Wide back and down. Let's take a deep breath in with the palms forward and pulled back in through the nose. Out through the mouth. A little knee bend, and we'll go up to the toes, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And one more time, up and down. Squeeze the seat nice and firm. Shoulders up, back, down. And we'll go over to one side. Let your fingertips drift towards your knee. A breath in. With the breath out, melt a little further to the side. Use your stomach to pull you back toward the center. And then we'll go over to the other side. A breath in, a breath out, and melt over a little further. Keep your seat firm. The belly's contracted, about 50% tightness. Then the belly contracts further to pull you up. We'll go over to one side, belly pulls you up, and again, leaning, and then the belly pulling you up. One arm, a breath in, other arm, breathing out, and then reach up, belly in, seat tight, urinary muscles pulling up. Reach up with both hands and reach behind your head. So touching these big knobby backbones right at the base of the neck. Pull the belly in so the back doesn't arch. And then we'll come up and down. Let's separate the feet a little bit, bend the knees and a breath in. And then fold all the way to the floor. You can bend your knees as much as you want. We like to dangle, the head being heavy and dangling toward the floor. And then walking your hands around to the side of one foot, maybe all the way to the heel with the hands. And then walk the hands forward around the other foot, the side of the foot to the heel, and then back to the front. Now, touching the floor maybe, or your toes, we want to bend both knees more. So bending a little more, reach your hands forward, so now your back is flattening, and then we'll drive the seat forward to come up and breathing out. we'll bring those feet in a little. You might want to draw your chair where your fingertips can reach. We're going to practice those toe rises. So flat foot, weight, feel the weight more toward the inside at the ball of your foot. Squeeze your seat really firmly in your stomach and pull up firmly with the urinary muscles as you rise up on the ball of the foot, keeping the weight toward the middle half of your feet. Now work on slow and controlled, firm ankle, weight toward the middle of the foot. And then we'll bend both knees because you're really locking in those legs. So we got to loosen that up a bit. Okay. Let's remember that feeling of going up on the foot with the weight toward the middle of the foot. We're going to go up on one foot, lift the other leg back, and reach forward with a Superman type of movement. So a reach and a reach. And as you reach and the other leg goes back, we're trying to go up on the ball of the foot with the weight toward the first and second toe. And a lift, and a lift, and a lift, and a lift. And then a breath in. Squeeze the seat, squeeze the belly and the urinary muscles. Breathing out. And we're going to bring the hands forward. Elbows are at your side, so we're at 90 degrees. Feet hip width apart. Really contract those three core areas as we start out. Call this chopping onions. And then we speed it up. So you really use your core to hold your trunk steady. We do that quick movement, and then we'll slow it down. Kind of increasing the heart rate. Let's reach forward, a breath in, a breath out, arms to the front. Now it takes some more core reinforcement. We're going to do that with the arms straight. So really the seat, the belly, the urinary muscles. We start with that drummer motion, and then we speed it up. Your fastest without pain, and we'll slow it down. Let's do a backward arm circle. See if we can separate, go up on your toes as you go up and down. Another breath in, going up to the toes and down. So just doing good work where we go up on the toes for foot and calf strength. Really a good exercise for walking, strong walking. Now we're doing this kind of swinging motion with the knee bend, kind of loosening up. Okay, we'll bring the arms down, circle back, kind of scooch over towards your chair. We'll finish a few more toe raises. A lot of focus on the feet this week in this class, and also when we have class at the church. There'll be quite a bit of focus on the feet. The feet are just key to balance and walking. So I've just lifted, I'm standing here, I've just lifted one foot up on the chair. And put my foot there. Then that standing leg, I'm going to feel the weight toward the middle of the foot. Firm, very firm ankle as I go up and down on the toe. Got good balance or okay balance. I might let go of the chair with that. Or I might have a finger on the chair. Okay. And then I'm going to bring that foot down. Let's go over to the other side of the chair. and bring that other foot up. So you can obviously have a finger or 2 fingers on the chair. Try not to grab the chair, but just enough support for some balance. Weight toward the middle of that standing foot. And we work on balance and control as we try to slow down the lift and lower, building strength in the foot, in the calf, the ankle. Really good strengthener there. Okay. All right. And then we're going to bring the foot down. Now we're going to step back with that foot that we had on the floor. We're stepping back, planting the heel on the floor, a straight knee. And we're going to nudge the front knee. The idea is we want to stretch the back calf. Now we just hold that, and then this back knee, keep the heel down, bend the knee a little, and the little knee nudge. Another way to get even more stretch in the lower calf. Let's step forward. Let's step back with the other leg, flat foot, bend the front knee, back heel stays anchored, back knee stays straight. We nudge the front knee, nudge and hold. Now it's the back knee. We're going to bend a little. It's just a little bend, but keep that heel down. And a little nudge of the back knee. This really is a great calf stretch for that back leg. Okay. And then we're going to step forward, facing the front. We're going to do a little knee bend. We're keeping the shoulders back over the hips, and I'm circling both knees, kind of like I have a hula hoop going around my knees. And then we're going to circle the other way. This is about knee health, about moving the knee, stretching the knee, joint capsule just a little. Okay. All right, and then let's kind of straighten, shake that out. Okay, a breath into the toes, a breath out. And we're going to go to our impacts now. So impacts are to build density in the part of the hip where no muscles attach. And you want as much kind of weight, vibration going in to the hips as possible. You can wear a weighted vest, or you can hold weights if your shoulders, elbows, wrists are not irritated by holding weights. Just a way to increase the force as we work on this. So, gonna get our music going. Marches are great. Working on this. Let's start out slow. Force into the heel. Elbows 90 degrees. If you have weights. Belly in. Urinary muscles tighten. And speed it up. And it's a flat foot. Force to the heel. Go out with the arms and in. Out. Cross the other arm on top. Even if you don't have weights, arms out, elbows in. Sideways. Let's do a lift, a bouncy. If you want to get it more bouncy, you get more force to the hips. And let's go out and in and out and in. We're gonna lift, up, lift, up. Now you can keep with the thumb, or you can go to a jump. Down, jump, down. Be sure to tighten urinary muscles. And let's kind of move everything. A jog, or you can pedal. Oh. Okay, I don't know how well you heard that. It looked like the music setting didn't go on. Let's clear your chair, keep your weights. And we'll stand in front of the chair with the feet separated about as far as the hips. And so this is where, if you are a beginner, you should not use the weights, to put the weights on the floor, because then we're going to be slowly lowering to the chair and standing, which is very challenging until you get the hang of it. So the squats are part of the muscles, parts of the hip where the muscles attached. This is to build bone density in those areas. So we get centered in front of the chair. You feel the chair behind your knees. We reach down and touch the chair, look at it, make sure you're centered in front of the chair. Okay, and then we're gonna bend at the knees, stick the seat out behind, pull the elbows in and back. So you're using your upper back muscles. Then you wanna add your abdomen and urinary muscles, tightening, and then we'll go partway down and then slowly to the chair. Okay, let's go ahead. We'll do a little exercise before we stand. Touch up and down, other arm up and down. Lean the chest forward, pull the elbows back, feet hip width apart, pull in the belly and the urinary muscles, and we'll stand. This can all be done without weights. Let's go part way down. We're going to bring one arm out and forward and in. Really pull with your belly. We're using back, belly, and urinary muscles. Pull back and make sure your chair is still there. Maybe take a look, and we'll go down. And if your shoulders are okay with it, we might do both weights at once, up and down, and up and down. Getting ourselves situated, elbows in and pulling back. So the elbows in are to protect the shoulders. And then we'll bring your chest forward, seat back, and lift. And we're trying to keep the knees separated as we do that. Let's come part way. Let's kind of push out and up. Feel how the back muscles contract with that. We're always wanting the back muscles to contract for posture and for bone density. Okay. Let's bring these to the shoulders. While we're standing here, can look up, make sure you have no lights or anything in the way. We're gonna go to the toes and down, the toes and down. And bring those elbows back again. Stick your seat out. Check on your chair. And then we'll slowly go down and we're gonna bounce 5 times. Elbows back, the upper back, 1, lightly down, 2, lightly down, 3, lightly down. If you have knee problems, you wanna just stay seated. 4 and 5. It's articulate in my knee. I know if you have any sort of knee issue, it's not going to work. Okay, and then let's go overhead, jump, and a jump. Okay, and for now, we're going to put the weights down. We'll come back to them later. You want them somewhere where they're out of your way. Usually under the chair works. And take your shoes off and put them under the chair. Since this is the first class of a session, we're going to review some of our basic movements and talk about form so that you get the most out of the exercise. Because the exercises are meant to strengthen your entire body. So for example, hands on the thighs and give a push to straighten your back. Pull the elbows in. Then feel in the chair that your weight is balanced on each buttock. And when you're sitting straight, you will feel these bones, pointed bones, that in your gluteal area will be touching the chair. If you are slumped, you don't feel those bones so much. But if your back is straight, belly in, now you want to lift the urinary muscles off the chair. Check you're balanced in your chair. So by doing this, you can feel it. Your belly, your back, your urinary muscles are all being exercised as we go to another foot, ankle, and calf exercise. Toes out, up to the toes, coming down, toes in, touch your knees and squeeze. Use that squeeze to reinforce your stomach and up to the toes and down. All of this with this form of the super straight back, wide shoulders, squeeze the knees up and down. Also, fluid, controlled, coordinated movement. So nothing jerky. Everything is done in a very muscular way, a very controlled way, a very coordinated way. And then we're going to come in. And this is all with the straight back. If your back gets tired, it's okay for a few minutes to scoot back and lean back and do the exercise so you get the benefit to the lower legs. You can feel that, but not to the stomach and the back and the urinary muscles. So a lot of our exercises are done halfway forward in the chair. So different techniques to engage the muscles. One is to press your hands on your thighs. Now we're just going to go to the toes. So this is going to be lifting the toes. So the ball of the foot stays on the floor with this first part, and then curling the toes. So with the curl of the toes, now the ball of the foot is lifted. So it's your heel and your tippy toes are on the floor. And then we go flat and just lift the toe tips. Ball of the foot stays down and then curling. So you get the super exaggerated arch in your foot. Remembering the straight back. Feet flat and lift the tippy toes and then curl the toes and get that big arch where the heel stays down. One more time, flat. Lift the tippy toes and now try to spread your toes. And you might look at your toes. You want your little toe even to try to spread out as your big toe tries to move in. And then one last big curl for strengthening. Okay. We're gonna transition to a back exercise. So for this, let's go ahead, we'll drop our hands, widen the shoulders, pull the elbows back, and lean forward with a flat back. Feel that stretch, because there's some rotation in the hips with that. And then we're gonna curl up by pulling in the belly, tucking the chin and curling, look towards your lap. And slowly unroll. The head unrolling last. We'll do that again. Leaning forward and then curling up. Uncurl. And coming up. Let's bring the legs in. Let's do a backward arm circle. And as we do, scooch yourself back in your chair until your seat is all the way back and you can lean back, and we'll give the back a rest for a moment. Feet and knees together. We do want to keep the wide shoulders. We're going to work on the knees by kicking out and fully straightening the knees. So that gives that big kick, and then let's hold it out. And as we hold it out, pull in the belly. If you let your belly go, the leg, you'll see your feet will drop a little bit. If you contract your belly, you can keep those feet a little higher. Reach back so your shoulders are wide. And let's point the ankles and flex. And the thought is to get full movement, full movement of the ankles in each direction. Every millimeter that you can possibly get. We'll pedal, same thing, full motion. And then for coordination, let's slowly speed it up. Use your belly to hold that up. And try to keep smoothly back and forth as you speed it up, kind of like walking fast. And then we're going to touch the toes and touch the heels. By now, the thighs are getting tired. Good for endurance in those muscles. And this, we're rotating mainly in the hip to get that motion, toes in, toes out. And let's bring that down. Okay. Let's sit up and just come a little forward in your chair, or halfway forward, back to our regular place in the chair where we sit halfway forward. We're going to move to a way of loosening the hips. So up on the ball of the foot, hip out. This hand can go behind, hip in, knee in to touch, out. And in this position, our goal is to relax these muscles, allow the joint to move freely. It will come into touch, and one more. Focusing on the muscles, letting go, so your joint can move more freely and in. We'll go to the other side, that ball of the foot, out. This, you want to really straight back, heart lifted, and in and touch, out. Think of these muscles letting go. You can reposition your foot if you want more stretch. And in nice outward movement, and in, down. Now reaching back for support. So I'm halfway forward in the chair. I'm reaching back and grabbing just behind my hips on each side. I just curl my fingers around and grab so that I can straighten one leg, really strongly contract the belly here, and sweep it out and in, out, and in. We'll go to the other leg. Point the toe, knees straight. It's like you've got a strong, straight steel pole in your leg. Belly in and out and in, so that we stretch. So maybe we can go a little further out. Let's do each side 2 more times. Point, lift the heart, shoulders back, belly in, out, and in. So working on hip strength, belly strength, thigh strength, core strength. A lot going on with that movement. It takes a lot of muscles. Let's take a breath in, a breath out. And then we're going to do a bone density exercise for the wrist. So for this, turning so you can see, but you don't need to turn. So we're going to hold on like we were behind the hips, slide the hips forward a little. So I'm right toward the edge of my chair, and I'm going to straighten my elbows, push the heel of my hand into the chair. I'm trying to lower the shoulders, and I feel that, I don't know, 20 pounds of force going into the wrist. We're working on bone density of the wrist bones. If you're stable with that, you don't have wrist pain or shoulder pain, you can move your hands a little closer to your hips, and you could support the weight of your body only if it works for you. And you might slide forward off the chair, and you're supporting most of the weight of your body there. We could do a little upper arm exercise. This is the more advanced version, and slide your hips back. Then let's open and close the hands, bring them forward, out to the sides. Relax your fingers and circle in the wrist. And circle the other way. Okay. And then let's bring the hands down. We'll bring the hands together. And then we kind of keep the heel of your hands glued together and lower the hands between the elbows. Shoulders up, shoulders down, belly in, seat contracted, urinary muscles pulling up. And we'll go side to side. Don't let your hands separate. We want to stretch the wrists. So if you're tight, you make it just a little movement. If you're one of those people with lots of flexibility, you can go further. Okay, now we're going to switch it. Back of the hands together. Shoulders up, shoulders down, belly in. And we'll do our back and forth. Stretch the wrist in the other way. And then let's come to the front. And we'll flap. We'll bring the wrists out and down, circle back. And we're going to add some music now to work on coordination with the body and the brain. To do some of these movements plus some additional movements. So we start halfway forward in the chair, feet flat and about hip width apart. Let's do the light pressure on the thigh and a push to further straighten the back, then contract your belly, your back, check you're even and how your seat hits the chair. Try to keep that feeling of the exercise. Straight back, and we're going to start with a pedaling motion or toe raises. So up to the tippy toe and down. So we're trying to curl way to the relax your fingers. We're going to circle with the wrist. Other way. One big backward arm circle. And the other one. Both together as you scoot back in your chair. Lean back, shoulders wide. We're going to swing the legs. Out, straight knee when you come out. And straight leave them out. We're going to point and flex, point and flex, and pedal and circle. Big full circles. And down, flat back, lean down, curl up, unroll, and again. Lean, curl up, unroll, over to the side, center, inside, out, side, and center, inside, center, and we're going to rotate and look back. So fling the arm back, front, back, front, back, front, back, front, arms down. Circle one shoulder to the back, twice. Other shoulder. Both shoulders forward. Both shoulders back. Shrug, shrug, shrug. Breath in and out. Just a good, starting with the toes, moving up, getting all parts of the body in a healthy, moderate way where you're not likely to injure yourself or feel pain. So one thing to remember with all of the classes.
Lisa, you need to take the music off.
Please remember, if anything causes you any pain or discomfort, to skip that exercise or to modify it so it doesn't hurt your body, because we do move on pretty quickly from exercise to exercise. You'll be able to join back in quite soon. Now we're going to do an exercise to remove weight to the front of the chair. We're going to focus now on the front of the core, which is your abdomen. So I'm on the very edge of my chair, but where I will not slip off. Bring my hands here, and I tighten my belly, clench my belly like someone is about to hit me in the stomach. Straighten the back, and then I'm going to lean back and lift. And lean and lift. All the while, look forward. So you tuck your chin a little bit as you go back. This time we'll go and we'll stay back. Keep your chin tucked. We're going to drop the arms and come to the heels. So your knees are now straight. So thinking of my body being a straight line. Then I'm going to take a breath in through the nose and inflate my belly. Blow out through the mouth and deflate. Contract your seat, your urinary muscles. I'm going to lift one leg and then do a switch. And switch. All the while I'm keeping my chin tucked. So I'm not building tension in my neck. Might even jostle your head to keep the neck muscles relaxed. And then I'm going to bend my legs. I'm going to straighten one leg to the heel. I'm going to clench my belly and lift and lower and lift and lower. Maybe try to lift a little higher each time, keeping the knees straight, keeping my neck relaxed if I can. This time I'm going to change a little, bend straighten, and then I'm gonna kick myself up. I'm gonna cross my arms, straighten the back, clench the belly, lean back. Let's try that. Bend, straighten, and then as I kick down, I use that momentum to sit up. Come back. Let's go to the other leg, straighten, heel to the ground, clench the belly, and you'll feel your low back flatten. And we'll do that lift and lower. I'm going to point the toe, makes it a little harder. And really use the belly muscles to make that heavy leg work. Then I'm going to bend the knee, lift, straighten, lower, a lift, straighten, and lower, a lift, straighten, and now I'm going to kick myself up, kick, bring the hands here, clench, go back, a lift, straighten, kick, cross, and go back. Okay, and then a last exercise, I'm going to straighten to the heels, remembering to relax the neck, give a shake to your head. I'm going to breathe into the belly, letting my belly expand. So through the nose, compress out, the air comes out through the mouth, and lift both legs. And in this position, I'm going to pedal, getting that good ankle movement. Be sure to breathe and lower. Another deep breath in and expand your belly. Compress the belly, breathe out. That lift. Keep breathing, let's do toes and heels. So adding the hips, working together with the belly and the hips. You get maximum strengthening, and we'll lower. Okay, let's bend, lift. We're going to kick ourselves up, straighten, kick to come up. And then scoot back in the chair. We're going to relax the back. So every time we do leg lifts, I think it's good to relax the back. We're going to turn, lean over, and hug one thigh. Pull your head down towards your knee. Keep leaning, spread the arms, and the back muscles can bring you up over to the other side. That hug, let your nose just fall towards your knee. Then we keep folded as we bring the arms out, so using the back to bring you up. Let's swoop around, pull in the belly as we do this big movement where you use all of your trunk muscles, all of your back muscles. Good for shoulders too. And then down to the floor, walk the hands forward. And then walk up an imaginary wall. Whew. We'll bring down and circle back. Okay, let's go ahead now and get your shoes on. And then we'll get the hand weights and stand near the chairs. And so we hold the weights, thumbs over the top, and remembering to grip also with your little fingers, your little finger and your ring finger, trying to use all your fingers to grip the weight. Okay. We do a little marching. Warm up. As you slow it down, getting that moment to balance. Working with your body, doing it a few times, so you get a little better at the balance. Good. Okay. We're going to bring the elbows out. And this is another chance to balance. So we're going to bring this weight up and down. And as we do that, we're going to kick the heel toward the seat. Kick. And the kick. And we're trying to make it a big kick with a little pause. Kick. And kick. Let's bring the elbows in. Elbows stay at your sides as we rotate out and in. All of this for those stabilizing muscles of the shoulder. And we're going to bring this down. We're going to bend the knees, stick the seat out. And as we drive the hips forward, so my shoulders have come forward, my back is flat, we're going to pull the weights to the armpits and go up on your toes if you can. The elbows go back, not out to the sides. This is a seat exercise, a calf exercise, an arm exercise. And then we'll come back to neutral and keeping your feet hip width apart. We'll do a little swing and stretch, looking to the side as you swing in that direction. And then standing toward the back leg of your chair, we're gonna do a lunge forward. So you can do this, all of these without weights. Or you could just do the weight portion and not do the lunge. So we're transitioning to lunges if you're able to do them. If not, you can just stand and do the exercise. So step forward to a flat foot. I'm on the ball of my back foot. Got my weights here. So I'm going to nudge, just bending both knees. I'm going to check that I still see my front toe. My shoulders are back over my hips. I have the straight back. I'm going to come to the shoulders, overhead, to the shoulders, and I'm just going to come to this position where my elbows are bent at 90 degrees. I'm going to step back, step forward with my other leg, and get into my lunge, ball of the back foot. I'm going to nudge, holding the weights, especially if you have them. Got like 10 pounds and more force going into my hips. And then I'm going to move this up, overhead, down, and elbows into the waist. And I'm going to step back. I'm going to do a few more of those. Forward. If you're tired, it's even possible to do this seated in a chair, where you do the arm movements. Step back, step forward, little nudge, shoulders overhead, shoulders down, in front, getting into my lunge, shoulders overhead. Good, I can see that. And forward and step back. We're going to drop the weights, circle the shoulders back, bend again, step out to the plie, and we'll again kind of lift the shoulders so they're back over the hips, pull in the belly, pull in the urinary muscles. We're going to straighten one knee at a time. Just make sure the knee joint is staying lubricated and happy with the lunges. We'll step back together. And then let's do a backward lunge. So I step toward the front leg of my chair. So I just want the chair there in case I need to reach out for balance. Now I step to the ball of the foot, going backward. Okay, now for this one, I'm going to bring my chest forward, bring the weights to my upper chest. And this time I'm going to let my elbows go out, pull back, and weights forward. Straighten the upper back, pull back, and forward. And then as we come up, elbows come in, we'll step forward. We're going to step back to the ball of the other foot. So the description of this exercise is the butterfly. So back, shoulders forward, weights in, elbows pull back and in, back and in, and step forward. So each leg again back, a little nudge. And then we bring the chest forward, flat back, belly in, out and in, out and in, step forward, step back, tip forward at the chest, out and in, out and in, and step forward. For some oxygen, let's circle back and circle back. And then we're going to do a side lunge. Keep the weights right here. That's a step to the side. Hip comes back in, so the hip is right over your foot. Seat back, chest forward. We're going to drop this, bend the elbows a little, go straight out and in and out and down, and then drive your hips forward. Come back to the center, and we'll go to the other side. Getting centered over that other leg. Elbows almost straight, spread out and in and out and in. Drive your hips forward. Okay. While we're here in the middle, let's bring this up. Do a little halo around the head. The halo the other way. Kind of think of loosening your shoulders up. I bent my knees. I'm pulling my belly in, going around one way and then the other. All right, we're going to put the weights aside and get ready to do one core strengthener on the floor. So for this, we'll come where we are near the chair. Your mat right in front of the chair. If you're using a mat, we're going to touch the chair, lunge forward, and come down on the back knee. Okay. And then we're going to go to all fours. And for this, you can come to your fist on the floor or your flat palm, depending on your wrist health. And we're just going to do this one really great strengthener. Okay, where you use opposite arm, opposite leg. We'll reach the hand forward and then lift the back leg. And then we'll lift the arm. And we'll hold, balance, hold, stretch, fingertips toward the wall in front of you, feet toward the wall behind you, or foot, and come down. Reach the hand forward, touch the floor, lift the opposite leg, and then just reach and stretch. So you get this balance and strengthening workout. And we'll come down. And then one hand to the chair. Come up on your knees. Bring the leg forward. Tuck your back toes. And then from here, you want to lift up. And if you're used to getting up and down, you could try hands on your knees for a little balance and coming up, or you could use your chair. Okay, then we're gonna do our 5 deep breaths. So feet hip width apart. We're gonna finish the class kind of energized with plenty of oxygen in the body, making sure you have room to the sides, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Nice, deep, vigorous breaths. Circle back.